What is good? What is up? It's Jordan, or Texans Thoughts, and I'm back with another film breakdown. I've been loving doing these, and the offseason grind is real. So today I want to look at a potential free agent we should sign, and that is Damon Snacks Harrison. He's nose tackle, and with the Timmy Jernigan signing falling through, Snacks would be the perfect backup plan. So I'll admit, I wasn't just chomping at the bit to sign him. I wanted to get into his film and see if he was still a productive player. Because even though he has a reputation for being a great run stuffer, he's getting a bit older and has dealt with some injuries. And people point to a statistical down season in Detroit last year. So I watched his 2018 year with the Giants, then the rest of the season when he got traded to Detroit, and I loved the player that I saw. He demanded double teams and still beat those as well. He was a force to be reckoned with, and he seemed like such a good fit for us. Then I wanted to watch his 2019 tape to see what led people to believe he had a worse season. And watching the film, I saw the exact same player from 2018. He was still making plays, and he was a force. So I wanted to see how many snaps he played, and he was playing around 40% of the snaps in 2019 compared to where he played 60% of snaps in 2018. So obviously, if you take him off the field, then he's just going to produce less. It's basic logic. Detroit believed in some of the other guys more, like Mike Daniels and Ashawn Robinson, and so they played Snacks less. So that lack of snaps led to the lesser production, and it had nothing to do with his actual talent or game. So the other thing to note is he did have a bit of a lingering knee injury, and that reportedly hurt him throughout the practices and games, but from the film I saw, he gutted it out, and he still made impact plays. And that's what I want to show y'all today. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and comment down below your thoughts on the video. Also, I would really appreciate it if you all could check out the Texans Unfiltered website and podcast. We've got a tons of great content for you guys. Those will be linked in the description below. Alright, I've told you my opinion on Snacks, but there's only one way to truly show you what I mean. So let's get into the film because the film don't lie. So the first thing I love about Damon Harrison is that he demands double teams. If you try and block him with just one offensive lineman, he's going to eat you alive. And so here's some film from his 2018 season with the New York Giants. They play primarily a 4-3, and he's going to be a one tech here. And the first thing I noticed is his quick hands. He's very quick to get his hands ready to shoot them up into the chest, and look how his hands are higher than Joe Looney, the center here. And so he has good hand placement with those quick hands. He's quick to strike right into the chest, and I preach all the time, if you can get into the chest, that's how you're going to be the most powerful. And then I love this part. He straight up just lifts Joe Looney off the ground here. It's kind of hard to tell, but in the slow motion, you can see that his feet just go off the ground. He's literally in the air here. So just showing off immense strength out of Damon Harrison, and then he sheds the block and makes the tackle for just a 1-yard gain. This was perfect. And so obviously that's going to be his role on the defense. He's primarily a run stuffer. That's what he's been all his career. And here's just another one against the Giants. This time it's against us. And so like I said, he's playing in this one tech role in a 4-3, which the Texans do run quite a bit. And you can see here, he just kind of dominates Nick Martin. He penetrates into the backfield using good length and extension. And then I love how he's able to get off the block. If you single block him, he's going to block shed and he's going to make a tackle. So it's not like he's only just making plays for others, which he does, don't get me wrong, but he's also getting off the blocks and making plays himself. And so here's kind of what I'm talking about with that. He just drives back the center so much. He penetrates into the backfield with just that one arm. Look how he pushes him back. And that forces Elliott to bounce it outside, and this ends up being a loss. So Snacks can make an impact in both ways. So now for his Lions tape when he got traded mid-season, and he's just continuing to manhandle people here. It doesn't matter about his situation. People question, oh, he's going to play worse if he's not in a winning situation, but he still dominated the tape here. He's still playing really well and is demanding double team, as you can see. So the Lions, much like the Patriots and the Texans and everyone from the Belichick tree, they play in a much more multiple front. And so just like on the last play, they asked Damon Harrison to play heads up over the center as a nose tackle, and he can still dominate from this position as well. He's just too overwhelming and powerful for the center and drives him back and gets off the block so easily you can't single block him. And as a pure nose tackle, he's also showed the great ability to two-gap, which the Texans ask a lot out of their nose tackles. So here you can see he stacks and extends the block really well. He looks to his right where the running back is going. He's not going there, he bounces at left. He turns left as well with him and helps trip him up and make the tackle easier. And the Lions even lined him up wider as a 3-tech defensive tackle, and he showed that he can dominate there as well. I love his versatility that he brings. I would focus on playing him as a 1 or a nose tech like on this one, where he can just really use his power there and he just dominates plays, man. So now let's move on to 2019 and see if he really did have a down season like people are saying. And from these plays, you can see that he really didn't. He seems like the exact same player. He's a great job stacking blocks, reading them, using his extension to punch out and attack offensive linemen. He's just an immovable force in the center of the defense. He still played nose tackle, 1 tech, a little bit of 3 tech as well. I don't know what people are talking about. I think they just box score watch and just don't see as many tackles as the season before, and they kind of just draw their own conclusions. But as you can see here, he's still making plays. So as you've seen, Damon Harrison, he demands double teams. Now, what happens when he's faced with double teams? Well, he can beat those as well. So on this one, the center and the right guard are going to be trying to work a double team on him, but he says no. He club swims over the center, then stacks the right guard's block and gets off of it so nicely. I mean, this is just an elite move by Damon Harrison to beat the double team. Look at him use his right arm here to club at the right side of the center's body. Then he swims over with his left arm and just gets rid of the right guard so easily, man. Like, this looks like nothing to him. He can use technique, or he can just be so physically dominating against these double teams. It really doesn't matter. His pure strength through leverage and hand placement is just really, really effective. On this double team, again against the center and right guard, they try and move him, but boom. The hand placement into the center of the chest of the center gets him off of him, and just a low leverage gives him a lot of power. He also understands leverage, and you see how this run is going to the left here, and he's made it to the left side of this double team, so that's forcing Todd Gurley to cut it back to the right, and you'll see that the defense is in position, so boom, they have to go back to the left. He gets off the block and makes a good tackle. He forces you to be perfect against him, because the center here, he gives him just a little chip, and it's not enough. And so he deals with that right guard really easily and sheds the block and makes the tackle. And so even up against some of the best competition he'll face in right guard Zach Martin, they're trying to generate a push and they're just not. He's just immovable, man. You can't move that dude, and that just brings so much value to a defense. It's a really unheralded position. They do the dirty work and help others succeed. You can see here on this play against us that Nick Martin and Zach Fulton, they're supposed to work this double team against Harrison and work up to Alec Ogletree, the middle linebacker here, and block the second level. But because Harrison is just so strong and good at what he does, doing his job, he holds his double team, allows minimal push, really none at all, doesn't allow them to get to the second level, and then he even gets off the block to help on the tackle himself. And so you can see how this can clearly help our linebackers. Having a stout force in the middle of the defense to replace DJ Reader is going to be big time for us. It's going to help out Zach Cunningham, Benardrick McKinney, and just everyone on the defense. So now moving on to the 2019 tape, just to show that he's still doing this. This one will look a lot similar like to some of the other double teams where he's just manhandling that double team, not allowing them to get any push, and makes plays for others. This one looks exactly like the same club swim move that he used before against the center. He's going to club with his left and swim over with his right. That gets him by the center, and then the right guard is just not quick enough for him. He can't block him whatsoever. It's just kind of embarrassing. That's a great move. And then here one more time where the center, he kind of chips him a little bit, but it's not enough. You have to get a full double team on him, and even sometimes that's not good. So you can really see here how his 2019 tape really doesn't differ much whatsoever for single blocks and for double teams as well. So another major positive of Harrison I noticed was that he's really able to beat reach blocks pretty well. He's not just some really unathletic, slow statue of a nose tackle. He actually has some athleticism to his game. And so you can see on this reach block that La'el Collins, the right tackle, he's trying to get to the right side of Damon Harrison to reach around and really get a good block on him. That's the concept of this zone blocking right here. And he's not able to. You can see even Zach Martin gives him a little push, but Harrison at this point is completely over to the right side where he wants to be, and that forces the cutback, and Harrison is aware enough to attack that cutback and still make the tackle. Another example comes up against us with Greg Manx, the left guard, trying to make this reach block to the left shoulder of Damon Harrison, but he doesn't let him. He's so good at doing this, and it blows up zone schemes completely, because at this point, look how he uses his extension and his length to really fight off Manx to the point where he just has no chance here. Damon Harrison's hand placement has just been on point all video long. He knows that you have to get into the chest and lock out your arms to win these battles, and that's what he does almost every single time. And just another good job of completely blowing up this run play for a loss. In terms of run defense, there really just isn't anything that he can't do. He's such a force, and I would love to have him. And so that moves me into Damon Harrison's weakness, is that he's not a pass rusher. But the thing is that that's okay. That doesn't have to be his role. We don't need to ask him to do that. We have other guys on the team like Ross Blacklock, Charles Omenihu, who can fulfill that interior pass rushing role. And so if you look at his box score, he had 3.5 sacks in 2018 and 2 in 2019. And so you might think that, okay, he can give you a little bit, and maybe, but if you look at his sacks and how they happen, they were really just a product of the offense holding onto the ball too long and him just eventually getting there. He doesn't have pass rush moves. He's not really a pocket collapser. I mean, look at this one in 2019 where the ball just held on for so long and eventually Snacks gets there. And so you can't actually count on that for real pass rush productivity. It's not a product of his talent or technique or overwhelming power in the pass rush game. It's simply just the quarterback holding onto the ball for forever and him eventually getting there. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's just, you can see a lot of it in these plays also. He just gets double teamed a lot, and so that's going to drive down his pass rush productivity as well. And so that can help the other defensive tackle. He's going to have a single block most of the time, so I guess there's some value in that. But just most of the time, even when he does get single blocks like these, like, he's just not doing anything, man. It's just, and that's okay. Like, he's not really collapsing the pocket too much here. The quarterback still is comfortable there, and on this one too, like, he just gets pushed into double teams a lot of the time, but that's fine. All right, that'll do it for my Damon Harrison film breakdown. I hope y'all see how he's still a very effective player and can help provide great veteran depth along the D-line. He'd be a great mentor for Ross Blacklock, teaching him the ways of run stuffing and turning him into the highest potential that he can reach. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and comment down below your thoughts on the video. If you're still listening, you're a real one, and I appreciate you. The question of the day is, do you think Damon Harrison would start over Brandon Dunn and Ross Blacklock? Let me know. Also, would love if y'all could check us out at Texans Unfiltered for just more Texans content. We've got in-depth articles, weekly podcast episodes, and an awesome Discord community too. All those will be linked in the description below. Alright, this was Jordan, or Texans Thoughts. Hope you enjoyed, and come back for more. Take care, everyone.